Aloha from Maui. Serena Garretts here, just about to get into my red drink. Gonna give you my top 10 tips, plus a whole bunch more probably, for giving a class anywhere. So please join me. I'm gonna need to get some peppermint oil. I see right now it's an absolute necessity, even though I'm diffusing right here. There's a fly plaguing me for some unknown reason. So this is why we get peppermint. So grab your favorite essential oil, grab your pen and your paper, or whatever you take notes on. Get your diffuser going real quick if you haven't already. Grab your favorite roller, or grab some peppermint to help turn your brain on, help calm your stomach, your nerves, if you have nerves when you're going to give a class. Peppermint. What is your favorite essential oil? Will you please tell me below your favorite essential oil for nerves? Like when you have nerves when you're going to give a presentation, because that's what this class is about. This class is about 10 tips to teach a class anywhere. And I want to suggest that even though it's not on my list, peppermint oil is something that can help you. Because not only will it calm your head and clear your breathing, right? It helps you to be centered. It helps you to be in your, hi James, aloha. It helps you to be in your presence. Go away. All right, that's it. I'm just gonna put peppermint oil everywhere. That's it. I have a diffuser going, but this guy is like, I don't know, from another planet or something. So make sure you've got something to drink. I here have a red drink. It's got some Ningxia red and nitro water, sulfurzyme. I'm going to leave the cap off this peppermint and see if that keeps that fly away. Usually that will do the trick. Some Inner Beauty collagen, some Ningxia greens powder, which has functional mushrooms in it. And then I put a bunch of frozen organic fruit in there at the bottom to eat at the end, and a few drops of lime. And did I say sulfurzyme powder? Of course, sulfurzyme powder. But the fruit gets stuck. All right, are we ready to start? Thank you so much for being here. My name is Serena Garretts. I'm from Maui, Hawaii, and it's really my honor to be asked at any time to teach here in Spruce Society, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this Young Living community for the last 6 years plus. I met my enroller, Dr. Pat McLean, and it was at a very critical time in my life where I was very sick, and Young Living really was just a godsend. I had just been told I needed to get all the toxins out of my life if I didn't want my disease to come back. I didn't know the first thing about nothing, and I learned everything about everything over the last 6 years. And so that's a little bit about who I am, and my love always to my enroller, Dr. Pat McLean, who is no longer with us, but she taught me so much. And of course, Kelowna Giuliano has been such a pivotal person in my life, as well as Jessica Petty and Sharon Peace have all been incredible leaders. So grateful to have them and the Spruce Society group. So grateful that you're here to learn. So this is 10 tips to teach a class anywhere. And so why, wait, did I have, oh, that's funny. Oh, I started writing something, and then I threw it away. That's funny. All right. So the first thing is make notes like this, okay? Because when you, especially are new to teaching class, whether you're going to teach a class in person, whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. You need your notes. You got to have your notes. And for me, I don't see that well without my glasses, so I write it in Sharpie, and that also prevents me from writing too much on the page. So I think that was like number 10. No, it was number 9. Make an easy to read, short bullet point list like this. And then I wrote smaller, and there's a reason this is messy, with a few extra notes. I can't even see, if need, with a few extra notes if need, but not too much, because then you're just looking at your paper all the time. Okay, so if you're going to teach 10 tips to teach class, it's real simple. You have your intro at the beginning, whether you're in person or you're online. Hi, I'm Serena Garretts. I'm from Maui, Hawaii. You talk a little bit about your enroller, your team. You can say how long you've been with Young Living. You can say how long you've been into wellness. You can say something personal. You can add a little quick bit about other things you do in your life. But when you're presenting information, it's good to kind of get to the point right away and remind people of why they're here. So I will remind you again that we're doing 10 tips to teach a class anywhere. And I don't mind looking at my notes. Now, when I first started teaching classes 6 years ago, I always looked at my notes. I was like this. I had to have notes like, I had a ring light, and which, by the way, you don't really need a giant ring light. I had a ring light and I had notes taped all, and I would be looking at the notes like this. And because I'm just not able to remember things, I'll just ramble, which is kind of a fun teaching style also. But when you're teaching professionally, when you're showing up with your team to present on skincare or Ningxia or whatever, or you're going to do, a class at a party, or you're going to do a class online, that is something you need to know what you're going to talk about. So number one, besides making your intro for yourself, and I used to have to write it out. I used to write, aloha, I'm Serena from Maui, 6 years, Dr. Pat, and then I'd put why, which will remind me not just to start talking about myself and get nervous, but to remind myself to say what the class is about right at the beginning again. So that's really helpful. Make sure you've got your short intro down, whether you're going to be in person or whether you're going to be, I mean short, like less than a minute, your short intro, or maybe 2 minutes, depending on the situation. Unless it's a different type of class where you want to give a longer intro. For instance, so your intro is really, though, never ever going to be more than 5 minutes, if you only have an hour. Okay. So that's important, is to work on your intro. If you don't already know it, off the cuff, just letting people know who you are, where you're from, what you're presenting, why it's valuable. And then I forgot what else I was going to say. So we're going to move on here to number 1, decide on your subject and your points to share. So I decided I wanted to teach a class on 10 tips to teach a class anywhere. So I have written down, although there are more, I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tips. And even though I thought I might remember them, even though whether it's, I don't care, it's your 3 favorite spices to put in your oatmeal, whatever you're teaching about, you've got to decide on your subject ahead of time and the points that you want to make. And that creates your outline. Number 2 is you're going to do your necessary research. If you don't know, say you get asked by a team member to come to an in-person event and present on Ningxia, and you've only just bought, you've only been drinking Ningxia 6 months or 3 months, and you don't really know that much about it. You just know that it makes you feel great, and it's some antioxidant juice stuff. Okay? Maybe that's where you're at, and then somebody asks you to teach a class on Ningxia or help them host a home party and be part of the thing. So this is a wonderful opportunity. It's way too loud. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn about the products. So this is actually, my mentor, Dr. Pat, would always have us getting up in front and teaching. So she'd be like, you want to teach on skincare next time? You want to teach it? So having an opportunity, if you have an in-person team or group of customers that wants to get together once a month and talk about Young Living and geek out and focus on a class. I mean, that's how Dr. Pat used to do it. She would always, and then new people would automatically be brought into that. But Dr. Pat would always host these amazing in-person gatherings where we'd have soup, and she would always present on something, whether it was oils of ancient scripture, the seven symptoms of stress, or the oils, whatever it is, raindrop, I don't care, whatever she was talking about, even if it was just lavender, or thieves or whatever, she would always have a lot of information there, but also make it really homey and fun, and it was always a team gathering kind of thing. So there are so many different ways that you can teach in so many different situations. Sometimes, you might be willing to go live on your page and just be like, hey, here's 10 things that I learned from, switching over my products from toxic to clean. Let me tell you about 5 ways that drinking Ningxia Red has improved my life. So this can work also for posts. It doesn't have to necessarily just be classes, but this format works really good. So do your necessary research and note your key shareables. Again, don't make too many notes unless you want to stand there and be like this the whole time. In 1987, but make key notes. And the reason that I'm suggesting that you do this is because over time, somebody the other day actually told me I sound like an encyclopedia when I'm talking about Young Living. And I laughed because I'm like, I've just been saying the same thing for 6 years and learning more and more and more. For instance, that it takes 22 seconds for essential oils to cross the, was it 22 seconds to cross the blood-brain barrier, 2 minutes to enter the bloodstream, and 22 minutes to be found in every cell in the body. This is not something that I knew. The first time I gave a class on essential oils, I had to write that down, and I fumbled it and jumbled it, and I've been saying it for 6 years, so now it's easy for me to say that. It's easy for me to talk about seed to seal. It's easy for me to talk about really anything, because I keep telling myself that it's easy. That's a bonus. Tell yourself that it's easy. It's easy for me to share about whatever. It's easy for me to stand up and do this. It's easy for me to go live. But make your notes on your key shareables, and obviously know what you're going to talk about. If you're presenting a lot of facts and you don't have them all memorized, then yeah, you're going to need some notes. But it's always nice to minimize it as much as possible, and then say like, hey, for more information, see the caption, or reach out, or I can point you in the right direction if you're looking for a resource that has more details or whatever like that. But simplifying this so that you're not like continually looking at your thing is important. And nobody is expecting you to not have notes. I want to tell you that right now. Unless you're like on the next level of masterclass giving with a lot of experience already under your belt, you're not going to be able to give a class without notes. Okay? Even the most advanced people that I know that give classes always had notes. Even at least a small note. Bullet points, boom, 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 boom. Always have notes. Eventually you'll be good enough that you don't need notes. But just make notes and don't be shy about it. Like I used to think it was shameful to look at notes. Like that I wasn't professional or something if I was looking at notes. That's not true. Okay? So don't be ashamed of looking at your notes, and please definitely make them. So number 3, thank you so much for being here, Susan. It's wonderful to see you. Make sure to stay hydrated. That's not number 3. That's actually later down the list. Be sure to check the replay afterwards if you want to see what the first 2 tips were. And I lead in about giving a good intro. So number 3, have confidence in your calling and your passion. Okay? Even if you don't have confidence developed in your knowledge of the product or the subject that you're giving a class about because it's new, or there's a lot of new information, or you're not used to presenting and it feels like a lot, okay? You have a calling. You were called to give this class from within or by somebody who's helping you move forward in your business, okay? Have confidence in that calling. You were picked. You were picked. So go forth knowing that you have what it takes to give that class. Don't doubt it. Have confidence in your calling and your passion. Okay? Like the facts, I'm going to be honest with you. This is like a sales thing. The facts are not always what sell people. It's you and your vibration and your frequency and your confidence. If you're like, I have sold one time. Okay, so here's an illustrative story. Go away. Here's an illustrative story. Some peppermint on the head there. The gummies had just come out. Do you guys remember the Emu Power gum, Emu gummies? Okay, the gummies that came out last year. So I had a new client at the end of, I was doing a sound healing event, and she had come to sound healing, and I had used oils. It's aroma sound healing, so I always use oils in the sound healing event. And she was coming up to me and talking to me a little bit about oils afterwards. And she was like, hey, I'd like to get a diffuser and a couple oils. And so I was looking at the Make a Shift kit with her right there, right then on the laptop at the studio, because that's always the best time. So I was like, well, hey, we've got this one. It's only $100. This is really great. And she goes, oh, well, I also really need something for immunity. And of course, if you've been here for more than 2 seconds, we have about 4,000 products for immunity, right? And deciding on what to suggest to somebody, it takes a second to go through your mental files and be like, oh, this would be the best thing for you, because, it's always a different situation too, right? So, or this might be the best thing for you, I should say. So, so we were looking on the website, and the banner happened to be the Emu gummies, and it switched from the Make a Shift kit to the Emu gummies. And I said, you know what? These just came out. They are so amazing. I am so excited to try these. These are going to be a total game changer for everybody I know. And she goes, put an order, put it on the order. I didn't even know what was in them. I had not even had a chance to like review deeply the product. I knew they were immunity gummies. And I trust Young Living's potency. So I was like, dude, if these are immunity gummies and she wants something easy and she can just eat these pouches of gummies and that's going to help her immunity, then, well, that's a sale. Like, that's a perfect match made in heaven, right? So in that same way, like, I did not have confidence in my knowledge of the product because I didn't know the product. I also didn't have necessarily confidence that I was going to make the sale. But what I did know was that the customer wanted something, and I do trust Young Living, and I had confidence in the calling to provide something to her in that minute, and I had confidence in my passion to provide for her, and I have confidence in the company, right? So once you have those things, when you have those confidences, giving a class on anything is easy. I mean, I couldn't give you a detailed class on what's in Immune Gummies, but, you know, I could talk about all the different things that I love that support immunity, right? So find what works for you. Find, you know, you may not be able to, yeah, never mind. Forget that. Cancel, clear, delete. Number 4, prep fully ahead of time. Prep fully ahead of time. Make this list ahead of time. Make sure that you've got the time set aside in your day that you're going to be sit down ready half an hour before your class or before you go to an event. Get to your event on time. Don't just waltz in the middle of the event or late for the event. You're going to feel scattered if you do that. So you want to be grounded. You want to make sure that you got a good night's sleep the night before. You want to make sure you're hydrated. This may sound silly, but I'm serious, you guys. You want to make sure you've taken your supplements and your vitamins. You want to make sure this is a great day to add in brain stuff, okay? So if you want to add in like mind-wise supplement into your red juice, if you want to add in you know, B vitamins, you want to take a little frankincense, all of these things will help. I mean, your morning intentions also, when you're sitting in the morning for at least 5 minutes, and you do that, right? Take 5 minutes to sit and just ground and connect to yourself and go within and connect to your higher self and source. And just say, you know what, thank you so much for this calling to teach today. I'm so grateful, happy, and excited that I get to share my enthusiasm with whoever wants to hear it. And I know, and I'm so grateful and happy that I know it's going to help at least one person today. Wow, that was supposed to be later. So make sure that you drink enough water. Make sure you drink your supplements. Make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you eat. Don't give a class hungry. Don't do it. And don't give a class over-caffeinated. It's better to give a sleepy class than an over-caffeinated class. In my personal opinion, a grounded, somewhat sleepy presentation is better received by me anyway than someone who's overstimulated on caffeine and like jittering and freaking out. That's not, no one wants to watch that. So that's not what you need in those moments. You don't actually need more like caffeine. You need real deep energy, and that doesn't come 5 minutes before your talk. That comes by taking care of yourself the day before. So that's like a key. I don't know if anybody needed to hear that, but all right. So food, supplements, sleep, water. Okay. Number 5. Can somebody put me a purple heart just to give me some love? I haven't seen any comments yet, and I just like to make sure this is still playing. Number 5 is, let's see where we're at. Okay. Number 5 is get a decent tripod. The one I have is not a decent tripod. You have to be careful when you're shopping on, what do you call it? Amazon. Because so much of the stuff is junk, right? There's like, sorry, my moving boxes in the back there. There we go. So much of what you find is junk, and you like think it's going to be good, like this one that I bought that I'm still using. It was $27, right? And it just it topples over with the weight of the phone. It's not correctly manufactured. Like, it's not, like, the physics of it are wrong, and it just, like, it doesn't stay up, and it also topples over. So read the reviews, look at it carefully, maybe buy a bad one and get a second one. Invest in a decent little tripod that like folds up, because it's wonderful not just for giving classes, but it's also, well, first it'll change your game completely when you're giving classes. You're not propping your phone up in weird places. You got to have a tripod. It's also good for doing other work and like watching things and stuff so that you're not holding your phone so much. Tripod is very helpful. You don't need more than a mini ring light, okay? If you're going to be giving classes during the day, and this is about online stuff, if you're going to give classes during the day, you just need to sit near a window. You just need to sit where there's decent light. It doesn't have to be like, unless you're teaching at this level where it has to be like a super like perfect clear background with nothing behind you and like all of that. That's like kind of a different level than most of what we're going to be doing here usually with Young Living. So it's more like we're giving classes online, in our groups, or out to the world on social media. So or through internet groups, Zoom classes and stuff. So I think it's charming to see a little bit into people's lives. I actually arrange my camera angles so that this is maybe not like the best filming spot, but at least you can see my Aria diffuser. You can see my oils on the wall. That's intentional. So you may not have like a perfect filming area, but try to make find a spot where you're comfortable. Also, you're not perched. You're not weirdly sitting, because if you're going to give information, if you're going to impart wisdom, you have to be in the seat of the teacher, right? Like you have to find that space inside yourself where you're grounded, you're steady, you're comfortable, and you're imparting wisdom, and it's flowing through you. No matter, like, even if it's new wisdom, okay? So you don't need more than a mini ring light, and that's only going to really come in handy in the evenings if you're going to teach classes in the evening ever. Don't invest in a whole giant ring light setup and all that. You don't need that. You do not need that unless you're going to become like a super content creator, mega professional level content creator. You do not need that to give regular classes. All right. So I'm breaking apart all of your misconceptions about the things that are stopping you from going live and giving classes. Something to consider when you're going to give a class in person. So say you're going to go do an event with one or two of your teammates, or a home party or a team gathering or whatever. Intro to oils, whatever you want to call it. No, stop it. No. Daisy, quiet. Hey, shh. No. We're okay. There's no one here. Good girl. Quiet, baby. Go lay down. It's okay. Sorry. When you're going to teach a class in person, make sure you know your environment before you get there. Like, make sure you understand how things are going to be set up. Are people going to be sitting around in a circle on the floor? Are people going to be scattered throughout a room? Are there couches? Are there chairs? Is everyone set up in rows like a classroom? Like what is the environment that you're teaching your class in? Make sure that you're not surprised by what that's going to be. Make sure that you either create it the way you want it, or you check in with your host or hostess, or the person who's, if it's a more formal situation, like say you're going into a workplace after hours to teach about aroma yoga. I don't know. I'm just making something up that I did. Right? So aromatherapy with yoga, like taking it to a workplace. If you're a yoga teacher, taking it to a workplace, in a corporate environment. Say now you're going to be maybe giving a quick class on aromatherapy for 15 minutes or something, like as part of it. You have to know what you're going to be doing and be prepared for that. Like, do you need comfortable shoes to stand in? Do you need a seat for your chair that you're going to be sitting in? Like, you got to make sure that you take your comfort into mind also. And also, like, what type of, like, what the feel of the place is going to be like. I didn't write this in here, but I'm going to go ahead and say this now. This is one of those bonus ones that you get for being here. And that's that I want to ask you to consider with love your appearance when you're giving a class. I am a big advocate for authenticity and for like appreciation of like myself and everybody else, like in their natural state as well as in their dressed up states. However, if you're delivering a class, it's always better to look a little bit more put together. People will listen to you more. And you don't have to wear a lot of makeup. You don't have to put flowers in your hair. This is just me. This is what I do. And you don't even, if you're giving a class like this, you don't even have to be wearing anything fancy on the bottom. I'm wearing a pair of shorts, you know? So, but from here up, those of you who have done Zoom already know this trick. From here up, you look professional-ish, you know, enough to where you're like, okay, like, you know, I'm worth listening to, right? If you come on all sloppy, you know, you're wiping your face with food and stuff, and you're, you know, I'm not saying you have to be ornamented. I'm just saying present nicely. Like, clean your face, take a shower, do your oils, do your meditation, take care of yourself, and show up like clean and ready to share. Also, this affects your confidence level. If you didn't shower, you didn't do anything to your hair, you didn't know nothing, you didn't do anything to yourself at all in preparation, you're going to show up scattered, ungrounded, and really not as clear of a channel for giving the information that it is that you wanted to impart. So that taking that time also before you're going to go to your party or before you're going to go live, I'm talking 10 to 15 minutes, friends. Plan your outfit in advance, or don't. Sometimes I change my mind at the last minute. What I had on actually got a stain on it, so I had to like quickly change clothes, and I took the over top off, and I put this little blouse on, and I'm like, okay, great. So it doesn't have to take a lot of time. I'm not asking you to spend an hour getting ready and styling your hair and all of that just to give a class. However, if that makes you feel good, I want you to do it. That's definitely a tip. Yeah. So that taking that 10, 15 minutes also for yourself is going to give you breathing time. It's going to give you time to, excuse me, my foot itched. Breathing time. It's going to give you time to slow down and connect with yourself in the mirror. Say some affirmations like, I know I've got this. Like, I'm so excited to give this class. So yeah, so that's also another one. All right, number 7. Please let me know if you guys are liking these. I will go back and respond to all the comments afterwards, of course. Oh, cool. I still have half an hour. Drink. What's been your favorite tip so far? Drop me a comment below. All right. By the way, when I started Young Living 6 years ago, for the first year, I didn't really do a lot publicly because I was still recuperating from extreme illness. And although I did host some parties and I was always going to Dr. Pat's gatherings and starting to share online. But I didn't really start going live on Facebook or Instagram until about 2 years in. And I was terrified. I was terrified of trying to do a tutorial. I really liked the Savvy Minerals makeup, so I started sharing makeup tutorials. That was how I started going live, because I didn't feel confident enough to talk about the oils and stuff, even though I knew about them. And you need to, like, just any voice that's in your head, like, no one wants to hear this. You sound salesy. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not qualified. All of that is BS, man. Just blast that with some white golden light from the celestial heavens and move along with your confidence in your calling and your passion. And you've got your notes. So there it is. Number 7, ask for support. Ask for support if needed. Generally now when I give a class, I don't feel like I need to ask for support with that class because I'm choosing to give classes that are in my field of expertise and that I feel prompted from within to give classes on and that I feel qualified to give the class on. So they're actually fun and easy for me at this point. But it was not like that in the beginning. And so ask for support if needed. All right, Dr. Pat, she would say, Serena, we're having a speed oiling event, which is where there's like tables and then you have like a 5-minute presentation at each table and you just invite a whole ton of people to come and they go for, it's like speed dating, but they get to learn about like the ninja and the thieves and the thing. It's really, really fun. So I had, I think, 5 minutes to present about Savvy Minerals over and over and over and over for this event. I loved the Savvy Minerals as soon as I discovered it, but I had just discovered it. And Dr. Pat had decided that I should present on Savvy Minerals because I was a makeup artist. Even though I had barely started using it, I didn't know all the lingo, I didn't know all the words, I didn't know the slogan, I didn't know exactly what was in it, but I did know that it was clean. And I did know that I really enjoyed using it. And so I did my, sorry, I have some pain. I did my research and with my notes, and I asked for support. I said, what do you think I should focus on? Because I couldn't come up with like what to give the class about in 5 minutes. I was like, well, what should I say in 5 minutes? And by asking Dr. Pat, Dr. Pat was able to say, like, well, make sure that you say this, make sure that you focus on that, don't bother about this, and da-da-da-da-da. So someone else who's already given a class on that topic or given a class in general could help you structure your class. If you're confused about how to make your bullet points or how many bullet points to make or how to narrow it down or, you know, what to say or whatever, like, ask your upline, ask your sideline, ask your best friend what she would want to hear. Ask one of your customers, hey, if I gave a class on skincare, what would you like to hear about? Would you like to hear about the different lines that we have? Would you like to hear about secret application processes? Would you like to hear about, you know, like, what would you like to hear? You know what I mean? And you know, solutions for acne. Like, what would you like? So, getting support from your sideline, upline, your downline. Also, find out what they want to hear about. That's really important. Like, doing a poll in some way or another, either as in a story or just talking to people and asking them, like, what are you interested in learning about that you don't know, that you'd like to learn more about? Gut health, you know, energy supplements, weight loss, you know, like hormones, you know, pain relief, sleep, you know, stress, you know, what is it that you'd like to learn more about? And then, yeah, so ask for support. Don't be shy to, like, say, like, hey, I'm new. Come into here in Spruce Society. Come in Spruce Society and just be like, I'm new. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to teach a class. And you know what the best thing is to do for me anyway? The best thing was to watch other people's classes. Because I was like, oh, well, she's not, like, fancy. And she stumbled over her words and she's using notes and I took notes and I love her. You know what I mean? There's so many amazing teachers. Really, it's just, I mean, if you're giving a class that people are interested in, they're waiting for the information. You know, you're not, like, trying to sell them on anything. You're actually giving them the information they already want. If somebody is coming to an oils class, they want to learn about oils. If somebody is coming to a clean class, they want to learn about cleaning. If someone is coming to a class about 10 tips to teach a class, it's because they want to learn tips to teach a class. So you don't have to worry that what you're delivering is not enough for them or it's not what they came for or whatever. Like, all of those voices, BS. Golden light. Number 8. Use oils and set intentions before and during your presentation, okay? So use oils. So I almost always, but I didn't today because I was drinking my Ningxia when I came on. I almost always start my lives rolling on Valor because that's, you don't even have to even talk about it. You just have to roll it on. You start your class, you know, or right before you're about to step in front of people, visibly roll on some Valor because it's good for you. It's good for other people to smell it. And it's great for everyone to see you utilizing it practically. Like, oh, she just put Valor on before she started speaking, or she's going live right now and I see she's using Valor. So maybe I should use Valor. Maybe that would help me before I go live, which, by the way, it does. It also helps a lot with stage performance. Like dancing or singing or playing a musical instrument or being in a play or whatever. So you want to, before your event, maybe after you've done your makeup or before, or at least had your moment in the mirror where you brush your teeth and, you know, look at yourself nicely, set your intention. So my intention for this class was to help this community become more empowered and more willing and ready to share about these products and oils with the world. Because I can't reach everybody. And I want everybody to know. So that was my intention for this class. How can I fail? I can't fail. Set your intention. My goal is to, and don't make it a number. Don't do that to yourself, please. I mean, this is just my advice. This is my class. And I know I'm an unconventional teacher and everyone teaches in different ways. But guess what? We're all individuals and we all need different ways. So maybe some of my ways will work for you. But yeah. Okay. Now, use oils and set intentions. Also, encourage your students to use oils before and during. So you'll notice that, gosh, I thought this one fly needs to go. My situation is a little partial open air, so the flies keep coming in. All right. Remember at the beginning of this video, and if you didn't see the beginning of this video, please do make sure to go back and watch the replay. I will post it right away as soon as I'm done. And then I'll be available to answer questions and stuff too if there are any. But encourage your students at the beginning, like, go get your favorite oil, put on some peppermint. And peppermint and frankincense are always really good for class time because they help to sharpen the brain and the intellect and perk you up and make sure you're awake. So, but also, like, if people are, like, say they were busy and they, like, were rushing to get to your class on time and they're sort of stressed out, like, lavender. So I invite people to use whatever, oil they want to calm down and be present in that moment at the beginning of class. I also remind people to get water. I also remind people to take their notes. So I'll go back and reread this point again because it was near the beginning, because I feel like this is really important, and so I'm going to say it again. So make an easy-to-read, short bullet point list like this. I write in Sharpie so that I can't make too many notes. Also, I can see it without squinting and stuff, okay? I limit myself, usually, to 2 pages. Sometimes it turns into 3. Let's look at some of my other notes from other classes real quick, and you can see how I've refined this process over time. Let's look real quick. Okay, here's a class called Discover Ageless Beauty with Young Living. Here's my intro. I'm Serena Garretts from Maui, Hawaii. I didn't always look this good. I'm 50, so this is a skincare class, right? So, and then I wrote, the first thing was non-product related things to eliminate and reduce, and I listed them all. Non-product related things to include and increase, and I listed them all. Product related things to eliminate and reduce or swap out. So this is a lot of smaller notes, and for this class, I was looking at this more, but I wanted to make sure that I got all these things. So you can see here is my list of skincare products I wanted to share, and notes. And then, now see, this one was a longer one. Now I went into what to take, in swaps. Anyway, so now here is, that's something else. That's a different class. Actually, this is a post for an outside class that I did at the Healing Center. So it's almost exactly the same format: intro, points, and then what you're gonna say. So here I am on 10 tips to teach a class anywhere, and we are going to get down to number 10. And I don't know if we're actually going to be a full hour long, so hopefully that's okay. Usually I talk too much, so I'll just take another sip. Real quick, get out of there. You're not allowed in there. No, a fly just, oh man, I am not going to be able to drink that. Oh, fuck. Man. Seriously? What the heck? What the heck? So the reason I reacted to that, actually, I didn't have to, but the reason I reacted to that was just to show you too that, like, when you're giving a class, weird shit's going to happen, okay? A fly is going to go into your Ningxia that had all of those supplements in it, and you're suddenly not going to be able to drink any more Ningxia while you're giving your class, okay? You cannot let these things upset you. You can't. If you almost swear in a class like I just almost did, you can't let it worry you. You can't let anything worry you. Nothing. You just have to go out there, and number 10 is let go and let God, okay? So however you perceive God, spirit, great spirit source, your higher self, your intelligence, however you conceive of that, if you do, letting go. Once you've got your structure, once you know what you want to say, stop obsessing over the details. You're not going to remember everything. You're probably going to flub up. It's totally okay, and everybody does it, okay? No one is a perfect class giver. Nobody says everything completely right. Sometimes we mispronounce things, or we'll give a wrong piece of information. But perfectionism does not help. It's not going to help you look any more credible, believable, salesworthy. It's not going to help you at all to worry about your presentation being perfect. People want you. People want you. You're called into that position. People want your wisdom. People want your enthusiasm. People want your energy. People want your knowledge. People want your tips. People want whatever it is that you're teaching about, whether it's how to make homemade chocolate in 3 steps or with a vitality oil, or, you know, whether it's how to put on your eyeliner, you know, and we don't have Savvy Minerals anymore, or whatever it is. You know, it's how to mix your thieves cleaner into your laundry soap, whatever. I don't care what the class is about. Perfectionism doesn't help, and people love real. So I hope that all of these helped somebody today. I just felt called to share this information, and I really hope that it helps somebody get over something that's been holding them back, so that they get the courage to plan an in-person or an online class and share more freely about these oils and products that we love so much, that are changing our lives and helping us heal, because we're all called to share. You can't keep this stuff to yourself. So have courage in that. And if you'd like to friend me here on Facebook, you can. I'm Serena Garretts, and you are more than welcome to friend me here on Facebook. Sorry, it's a little hot in Maui here today. And also, if you want to follow me and see like what kind of content I create and how I create it, and just get like a different viewpoint on somebody who's totally hook, line, and sinker in with Young Living. And I've been a slow builder for a long time, and I will be in this company forever because I absolutely love the products and buy every single month, and almost all of my supplements are Young Living, and all my cleaning supplies, hair care, skincare, everything. And obviously you see that's just one of my oil stations over there. So, I mean, I'm definitely Team Young Living. But you can find me on Instagram at Serenity Wellness Arts if you'd like to follow me there. I want to say a big mahalo again to Spruce Society for having me teach this month. I'm really always grateful to share what wisdoms and knowledge I have to help others. And let me know in the caption what you want me to teach next. So you can always search in here on my name too in the search, or in the past classes, or go like I think on the YouTube they have the past classes too, if you want to see what other stuff I've talked about. And people were asking for a second top 10 things from the catalog that are not oils. I think I almost shared them all last time. It was more like 27 things. But maybe that could be a class, or let me know below what kind of class that you think you'd like to hear from me. I also was thinking about offering a class on magical aromatherapy, like the folkloric and spiritual influences and what's the word? Correspondences from, you know, folk magic, and like what were people using before they were essential oils? Like, what did they carry in their pocket for luck? Like, what did they sprinkle around their homes to keep, you know, evil spirits away? Like, these things are really fun. And then when you get into like blending oils for certain purposes too, can be really, really fun. So a magical aromatherapy class is an option. So yeah, let me know what you'd like to hear about, and I will teach it. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. Aloha.